Hello. It does feel good to see some of your faces over the years. You've continued to come, support, and build this day, this afternoon. It's kind of weird to think that we started the Welcome Awards as a goodwill gesture to find friends, allies, and make sure that they didn't slip by without anyone noticing. 10 years ago. It's so weird that we became like an institution out of, you know how it is, 3 or 4 people there trying to make things better, and then it just grows into front page of the newspaper for the last 2 weeks. It's been very nice. So, yeah. That one's for the News Gazette for being woke. So that's very nice. It's my job to just give you a welcome. Tom, he works every Saturday, too, at PACA, and so he runs that show. But it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 10th Annual Welcome Awards. And I saw the Science Immigration Forum. Of course we are Immigration Forum, but darn it, there are so many people involved in making this day memorable. You know, I just mentioned the News Gazette, but, you know, and of course I went blank. No, I mean, the food provisioning, the city of Champaign, the library doing, normally the judges. Let me tell you, it's a hard thing to be in the judges' room. I don't vote, but when they start, it's not negotiating. It's like, how can you up? Mine's better than yours? No, because in fact, many of the nominations are not theirs. They just got the nomination and they want to represent and fill in. So it's very exciting. Love to have you here. I'm going to turn the time over to our now trusted and repeating MCs. Charlotte Flamethrower from Immigration Project. That's how she went by in law school, I think it was. So I know Charlotte from there, being on our board. And of course, Jim, head of the Y. It's wonderful to have them here. It's wonderful to see them read and just project something, because neither one of them is like on the day-to-day of the immigration. So the judges are full of that knowing everybody, but they come in as reading and as a little bit on the next layer out, like some of you. You know, you're the next circle out of the Immigration Forum. You're allies, and I love that. So thank you for coming, and I'm going to turn the time over to Charlotte Alvarez and Jim. Okay, go ahead. It's for you.
Hi, welcome. Bienvenida, marhaban. Welcome to everyone who is here today. Can't believe it's been a decade of welcoming awards, and we're all here to see the 10th year. That's pretty exciting. We have a proclamation that was already read by the mayors a couple nights ago on Friday night. So what day is it? Was it yesterday or last Friday, a week ago? So we're not going to reread them, but I just think it's so amazing that we have support from both Urbana and Champaign to officially launch welcoming and to recognize how important it is for both communities to support welcoming work. So no reading of the proclamation, but it has been read, it has been announced, it has been proclaimed. So instead, we're just going to start and talk about our awards. This is happening during a week of welcoming. And just to put us in context, it's through a national campaign of welcoming. So Champaign-Urbana is one community amongst hundreds across the country who are all lifting their voices and talking about belonging and what it means to form community and home all at the same time. And we're celebrating our awards winners tonight, but they're not just done a week worth of effort and work. They've put in years and real solid commitment and effort into this community. And we know recognizing them is just one recognition of the years that they will go forward in service to help people feel welcomed, connected, and belong. So my name is Charlotte Alvarez. I'm the executive director of the Immigration Project. I'm one of our 2 MCs tonight. I used to be flamethrower back in my hiking days when I almost lit someone on fire, but I promise you all are safe. It's not a very welcoming thing to almost light someone on fire, but I've learned since then how to use a camp stove, and you will all be safe from the flamethrowing. So we're going to launch in and talk about our Student Leadership Award as our first award recipient tonight. And I just get so excited about the passion of our students, right? Welcoming starts with our students, and every organization in Champaign-Urbana who does work with immigrants really benefits from the work of interns and volunteers and the enthusiasm and the new ideas and the excitement brought by our student leaders. So pulling out one of those student leaders to recognize them, today our award recipient is Flor Cruz. So excited for her. So let me just tell you a little bit about Flor. Flor is one of our volunteers at the Immigration Project. Amongst all of the things she does, I did not realize how much Flor has done until looking at her bio and summary. And she's really developed such an amazing bio just as a student. She is here at University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign as an undergraduate, but she's double majoring in clinical psychology and Spanish. She's also a Chancellor's Scholar in the Campus Honors Program and a James Scholarship. And she speaks 2 languages, so I think double is really the name of the game for Flor. She approaches her studies with intelligence, dedication, and keen insights, says her nominator. She's committed to and feels a lot of passion about immigrant justice, and not just passion, but she's put that to work and put really that passion to good causes. She's really engaged in Latina communities here in Champaign-Urbana and also in her hometown of Cicero. She's done youth programming, drawing on her own experience as a Latina youth, and translating and interpreting and volunteering with community partners. She's also a teacher's assistant for Professor Ann Abbott's Spanish in the Community course, which really brings students out of the classroom and into the community to put that Spanish to use and see what is going on with Latina communities. So those students have done projects that help design and complete research projects that are really putting into practice and action their Spanish skills. Projects include poetry collections, a children's picture book, and a guide for advocating for workers' compensation for immigrants, along with other research. She's volunteered at Corazon Community Services in various roles and has been doing youth programming and strategic operations in her hometown of Cicero. Here in Champaign-Urbana, she's worked with us at the Immigration Project. Very happy to have her. I will say, she's really been a major help for our intakes program. Every time we get in new callers, we have to get them set up with our attorneys, and we need real strong interpretation in order to make that bridge between some of our attorneys and our community members. And she's able to really interpret and tell really tough stories in a way that's accurate and compassionate. She's also helped us with translations, getting those documents together so that we can add to the mountains and mountains of paperwork that we need to prove the reality of our immigrant communities and get them the benefits that will get them on the path to stability long term. So those are just really key skills that we really appreciate. And she's also volunteering and volunteered at the Daily Bread Soup Kitchen and the Champaign Park District. So multicultural, multilingual, and multi-talented Flor. Come on up.
Sorry. I was telling my friends I feel like I'm too young to be giving speeches. So I'm not great at speeches, and most of the things I do them in behind the curtains, doing things because they just come out from my heart, things that keep me busy, whatever calls my attention. But I would like to thank the CU Immigration Forum, the American Welcome Center, and all the co-sponsors, especially the Immigration Project, who I've worked with. Their dedication to the CU community and their peoples. We applaud you, we recognize you, and we are filled with gratitude for all the work that you do. As a clinical psych and community psych major, we know that in order to make these changes, we have to recognize where there are issues, where there are problems. We need a plan and action, and then actually put those action plans into and deliver. So thank you for the deliverance and the countless successes that you all have made. Thank you to Professor Abbott, as well as the Immigration Project, and UIUC, the Campus Honors Program. You've all given me a space where I can discover these different places and different efforts and be part of all of these different community service projects. Abbott's inspiration, as well as all of the students that I've worked with, really uplifts me and energizes me to keep doing what I'm doing. And as well as it uplifts others, which I think is kind of the key for community. When you uplift yourself, you uplift others, and you're able to give that energy and transfer it to others and inspire others as well. I accept this award in honor and representation of all other people. So I am just one of a lot. I am one of many, one of a lot of students who go unrecognized, but they still do those efforts regardless of the end result, just because it's a fulfilling process and a fulfilling project to them. So our successes are in fact what keeps the community together. So thank you all for creating this community. And then I leave you with this. One of my favorite actresses and inspirations is Audrey Hepburn, and I always love to quote her. So in her film Sabrina, her father says, "You're reaching for the stars." And she's like, "No, Father, the stars are reaching for me." And may the motivations and the efforts that you put in be your stars, and keep reaching for those stars because they're reaching back. So thank you.
Flora, that was really wonderful. I have no doubt that is the first of many speeches that you will be giving. Absolutely. I'm Jim Hinterlong. I'm the executive director of the University YMCA. This is our 150th anniversary year at the University YMCA, and we were founded in 1873 here largely for people like Flora. Although in reality, at that time, it was young, white Christian men. But we have changed a lot in 150 years. But what I want to say about that is the reason the University Y was founded was to give visibility and support to young people who show such great promise. And clearly, you demonstrate that already. So we're really proud of you. And thank you for the contributions you're making. The University YMCA is proud to be a sponsor of this event through the work of our New American Welcome Center. Many of you have met Aquia, the new director of the New American Welcome Center. We're so pleased to have her in that role. The New American Welcome Center was actually a project started by students. The idea came from students, and it has become a reality in this community and touched so many lives. I want to thank all of you for being here today, because coming together in this way and giving witness to the good work of people is one of the important ways to support the work we're trying to do to make this a welcoming and inclusive community. And how about this for a segue? When you bring a group of people together, what is one good way to nurture people? And that is good food. So it is my pleasure today to acknowledge the Business Leadership Award winner this year, Shawarma Joint. When Charlotte and I were talking about who should do the various introductions, I said, well, this is quite easy because I knew two of the award winners, and I eat constantly at Shawarma Joint. And I say that in all seriousness. It is a place that is not only good food, it is good people. Shawarma Joint has demonstrated the ability to be an excellent citizen in the community, despite starting the business at a very precarious time in 2021, right in the heart of the pandemic. And like all really compassionate and conscientious people, they found a way to use that as an opportunity to feed the community in so many ways, both in being a welcoming place and supportive of individuals and groups that were trying to recover through and thrive through the pandemic. The nominators spoke specifically about the two owners, Tariq and I'm drawing a blank on Tariq's partner's name, on Fadi, who just in their personal approach with people have demonstrated that kind of personal compassion. They're not able to be here today, but I know Muhammad is and will offer a few words. They tried to be helpful to you if you haven't eaten at Shawarma Joint. If you read in the description all the dishes that are recommended at the various locations, both on campus and Urbana, I will tell you my favorites. I get the vegetarian plate every time. I love the tabbouleh, and I love the baba ganoush, and I love the pita bread because I think it's excellent. And if you get the spicy dip and salads, they truly are spicy. So, from a new company in town that has found a way to thrive by feeding people and helping to support this community, we are very proud this year to give the Business Leadership Award to Shawarma Joint.
Hello, everyone. How are you today? That's good. My name is Magdalene Judah, and I am the wife of Mohammed Hashasha. He is the brother of Tariq Judah, one of the owners, and also Fadi. Fadi could not be here today. Unfortunately, had a family emergency, but he would love to receive this award as well. So I was just going to talk to you guys a little bit about a little background of how we got established and how we came about. I'm a townie. I was born and raised here in Champaign, Urbana. My husband was an immigrant, and so is Fadi and Tariq. So, this award fits just right for them. But they worked very, very hard, and this is, a very diverse city with a lot of, international students here, and we wanted to cater to that, and that's why we specifically chose campus location at first. And so we're really, really proud that we went through with this idea, even though we did open in the pandemic, and it was very, very difficult where we had lots of restrictions on restaurants and, people dining in. We struggled with permits at first and getting that open because everything kind of was closed during the pandemic. But we still, made it through, and we wanted to make our dream come true. We wanted to bring a taste of Palestine or the Middle East in general here to Champaign-Urbana because we don't have such restaurant here in town. So we are honored to be open, and we appreciate the support of the community and all the, everyone that's participated and came in and tried it. And today upstairs, if you haven't tried Shawarma Joint, you'll have a chance to try that. We have very delicious food. I'm very, very proud of the ingredients and the fresh ingredients we put in there and the work that we put in there. You can tell it's fresh food. I mean, we make our salads in several batches a day. Tons of salads. We have about 24 toppings. About 24 toppings. We have protein, and for those that can't eat like meats, that we also have a vegetarian option. Lots of options, and you can mix and match the way you want to make your bowls. And we like it because it's something that you can kind of be on the go really quick. You can either choose a pita, a bowl, a wrap, and then pick your proteins, your toppings, and then we make our homemade sauces every day fresh in store. And our hummus is made fresh, our falafel, we're very, very known for that, very popular. So if you guys are not familiar with that, we always have an awesome crew that always helps out. We love to help people, introduce them to our Mediterranean cuisine. I know it's very different. A lot of people are not familiar with it, but we are always, very, very happy to explain anything or to put combinations together for you and even advise you with like sauces and things like that. We have tons of specials that go on as well. And that's just a little bit about our business. So, but yeah, a lot actually. Well, thank you guys all very much for allowing us to be here today, and we especially thank the Champaign-Urbana Immigration Forum and the Champaign City, Urbana City for allowing us to run our small business and to become successful and opening up also in our second location. Not only campus, we have one in Urbana as well. So thank you very much. Thanks for everything you do, and thank you for the award.
I'll second the food is really delicious there. One of the many ways to raise multicultural children is to get them engaged with multicultural food. And I took my daughters, to shawarma joint, and the look on my baby's face discovering baba ganoush. It's just like, what is this? That just, how much baba ganoush can fit in a baby was the question. So I think it's just a great way to, explore and engage in our community and learn a little bit about a place you might not know and ask some questions and give welcoming in a whole different way. The way to someone's heart is through their stomach, and that's definitely true with shawarma joint food. Let's see. Next, we're going to move on to the Community Impact Award. And I'm very excited about the Community Impact Award this year, which is going to the Refugee Center. The Refugee Center... The Refugee Center was founded in 1980 by Vietnamese refugees looking to help out their community. And that organization has gone through so much in a kind of just the tenacity of keeping going and continuing their commitment to support refugees in times when refugees were looked down upon by national administrations, when agencies were being gutted, when state funds were being cut. The Refugee Center was keeping tenaciously going in their mission to serve the community. And wow, how that has paid off recently. The amazing growth that Lisa Wilson, the executive director of the Refugee Center, has championed in the last 5 years is just a powerful testament to the ongoing need in our community and the ongoing ability of Champaign-Urbana to be a space of welcoming for refugees and all. Since it started as a refugee center and had a much longer name, anyone remember what it used to be called? See the long Easter back, and now it's just known as the Refugee Center. And I think that though they center refugees, they're also serving asylum seekers. They're also serving individuals with different documentation status and taking that mission broadly across the board. The work that they've done has just been amazing. They are a remote resettling agency for the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, one of 9 throughout the nation for the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, and are part of a national refugee resettlement network. And as part of that work, they have served 2,500 unique clients in a year and have resettled 97 Afghans since August 2021 and several Ukrainian families. They've just risen to meet each refugee need as it comes, from Vietnamese refugees all the way through working with our Guatemalan communities, working with our Afghan communities, working with our Ukrainian communities, and with each of those populations seeing what is the need and how can they help? How can they help create new stability for new families? That initial welcoming work of welcoming refugees is so vitally important. Those refugees are able to be connected to how to obtain city bus passes, how to register people for school, what are the employment options, what does housing look like, how do we get furniture in for that new housing, how can we really make sure that that family who is fleeing from war or trauma or violence is set up for success. And then those roots go deep, deep into our community and spread out, and that success becomes all of our success. So the ripple impact of 2,500 unique clients, just remarkable. They have such a list of services. They help people go to doctor's appointments, they go to school conferences, referrals to English language and employment programs, counseling, tutoring. The list is long. anything really that a community member needs, they'll figure out how to make those connections and make happen. The nominator said, the Refugee Center has helped thousands of families and individuals in Central Illinois and has a huge impact on making their lives work by helping them navigate the complexities of immigrant resettling in the U.S. while providing space to preserve their respective cultures. Resettling in a new land outside of what you've always known as home is difficult and isolating. As someone whose family has benefited from their kindness and services to help immigrate them to the U.S. in the 1990s, my whole life would have been completely different, those long-term roots spreading deep. The Refugee Center, the nominator said, gave me community and helped me feel like I belonged here, despite the prejudices that I faced growing up in Central Illinois. So it's my deep honor to be a welcomer and welcome this award for the Refugee Center and their work, and Lisa Wilson.
That was wonderful. I want to thank CU Immigration Forum. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. That was absolutely lovely. I want to thank you for acknowledging our tremendous growth. But of course, that wouldn't be possible without recognizing our roots and the very dedicated refugees who helped establish the Refugee Center. We have many long-time veteran staff that were really the backbone of the organization. I'm happy to report that we have a tremendous exciting newer staff that are really helping us with our growth. They are very dedicated and very inspired by this community. I'm so proud of this community for being so welcoming to immigrants, and it's because of all of you and your support that the Refugee Center has now been around for over 40 years, and we will continue to grow. I'm pleased to announce that we are a remote refugee resettlement agency. The Bureau of Population, Refugees, and Migrants recently approved our application to become an affiliate. So that will bring even more refugees and special immigrant visa holders to our area. So we're very excited about this new challenge and looking forward to continuing to serve the Champaign-Urbana community for decades to come. Thank you so much.
Excuse me, I'm not part of the program, but I could not sit still and not say anything. I may sound biased because I am a former staff for the Refugee Center, but I admire Mrs. Wilson for her tenacity, her vision, and the good thing is she has a background in law. Okay, so she is helping the Refugee Center to thrive and allow all the clients to have a voice heard in 9 languages. Thank you again, Lisa.
Zikomo moninonse, wasangalala akiyangan redi malungu. It's a reminder that language accessibility is so important, and I think sometimes we take it for granted that even in a community that focuses on 9 languages, or our staff at the New American Welcome Center speak 8, there are languages that are not as common at some point. I was speaking to you there in Chichewa, which is the language that I learned to speak in the Peace Corps in East Africa, in Malawi. And what I said to you is, I'm so happy to be here with you. May God watch over you. And that's a very common expression there. And my reason for opening that in that way is this is a very welcoming community in so many ways. And we have wonderful people who are incredibly compassionate and generous, and yet there can still be barriers to be overcome. And today's recipient of the Immigrant Leadership Award is Efrain Gaspar. Efrain is one of our staff members at the New American Welcome Center. and Efrain, I think, is going to come stand by me. And while I must admit that I cannot speak Gunkabal, he does. And he came here as a young man, having all of the challenges one has when you're in a new culture with a new language. And over those many years since he arrived to Champaign-Urbana, threw himself into the work of being a resource to others. And you can read from his bio the many things he has done, and I hope that you will tell us a little bit about your journey. I heard that story the other night. You talked about it at the kickoff to Welcoming Week. Coming out of Guatemala, speaking a truly magnificent Mayan language that is not widely spoken, but now is becoming increasingly so here in Champaign-Urbana. And it happens to be a language that does not have a written form, and that written form is being developed now. So it is an oral language that adds a different dimension to helping to educate and share information within a community. And somehow, we know how, through hard work and persistence and a real passion for the work, Efrain has been just a leader in this community, has helped us to establish a translation and a language cohort here in the Kankabal language to help provide greater accessibility in this community. And does this work supported by his wife Maria and his beautiful daughter Alina back there in her dress today. Alina, I love that dress and those shoes. We're very proud to have Efrain as part of our staff with the New American Welcome Center. He also works for the university's Division of Intercollegiate Athletics. I don't know if that means you're a center on the basketball team, but I do know he is a sparkling gem when he is part of the work that we do at the University Y and the New American Welcome Center. And we're so pleased to give you this year's Immigrant Leadership Award.
Wow, thank you so much. I think Jim already stuck on behalf of me, so I don't have to say anything. Thank you, Jim, you did a good job. Okay, how about this? Hi, everyone. Hola a todos. My name is Efrain, if some of you don't know me yet. I'm from Guatemala. I came here in 2000. So I thought I would like to tell you about a little bit of my background, maybe it's just a little bit. So when I was growing up, we didn't have very much, so my father would have to travel to a different town to find resources, money for us, so we can be fed. So my mom, when I was 4 years, she would leave me alone at our house so she can go to our local school to help out my two older sister for school snacks. So I thought that special moment I would have to stay at the front door and wait for her to come back. I think if some of you read my story in the newspaper, it's fine. If some of you didn't, that's why I'm repeating it. So anyway, that special moment, I was just sitting right there. So I saw an airplane flying by, and something went through my mind, and thought, how about if I bought an airplane so I can fly it with my mother, with my sister to school, so I didn't have to stay sitting here by myself. And actually, my mother came home, and I told her that, and so what I was thinking. And she said, well, everything is possible, and you're a hard worker. So therefore, actually, I try to work hard here in Champaign-Urbana. So thank you for that. And so I came here in 2000. Actually, Mom passed away when I was 7, so I didn't have a chance to buy her an airplane, but it's okay. So I'm here right now. So my plan was to stay here for 3 years, but that didn't work out, so I'm still here. And so when I came here, I didn't know very many people. I didn't have any brothers and relatives, so I ended up living with lots of friends in a small house. A house that didn't have any air conditioning, in the summer, it was really hard to sleep at night because it was so hot. And in the winter, because we were so many, so they told me, you can stay at the door and sleep. So I said, yes, it's fine. So finally, Mr. Hugh Phillips actually, let's put it this way. So I went to the church on Newman Center on campus. So it was one Sunday morning, and people were hanging out flyers about English language, and so I read it, and they were doing some tutoring in English at the Newman Center. So the next following Saturday, I went to take English class. And actually, that's where I found a lot of people. And Jean Thompson is here right now. If you can raise your hand, Jean, thank you so much. She taught the first English that I learned here in Champaign-Urbana. And thank you so much for that, Jean. And so I thought that was wonderful, and that's how I started my English. And from there, I met Mr. Hugh Phillips, who founded El Centro por los Trabajadores. And so he encouraged me to take English class, and so I ended up going to Urbana Adult Education. And I know some of you from Urbana Adult Education today. Thank you for coming over, and thank you everyone, because there is a game at the UFI going on right now, but you guys chose to come here, so I appreciate you. Yes. And so from the English language that I learned from Urbana Adult Education, I was able to find good jobs, not fancy jobs, but better jobs than before, because my first job that I had was at a factory in Urbana. So I was a temp worker, so through some agency. So that means whenever the company is slow with work, they will send you home. So, and I work from 3 p.m. to actually 11 p.m. to 7 in the morning, which is third shift. And so at 3 in the morning, sometimes they cut the product down, the production. So because in the winter they don't have, they slow down. So they pick me. They tell me to go home. So when I get home at 3 in the morning, 3:30, so I used to ride my bicycle, and so I come home, and I don't choose to go to bed or watch movie, but I chose to come home and think about how can I better myself. What should I do? So I learned a lot of books, learned a lot of English. So from there I ended up getting a good job, so I don't have to get sent home anymore. And I did not have to beg my landlord to find me a good air conditioning, because I'm able to put it in my air conditioning now. Thanks so much for that. So therefore, back in 2001, I found a post online on Facebook that talks about interpreters of Piran Konom, and I contacted my director, Cora Maldonado, and I said, where is the shop? And she told me it's on campus. So she was bringing in some people from Guatemala, from Mexico. So they were teaching us in Canjobal. Although we know Canjobal, but at the same time, we don't know how to write Canjobal, as Jim mentioned. So we had some shops here in towns, and now I'm able to write a few sentences in Canjobal, so I'm grateful for that. And so I joined them, and now I'm a director of language access coordinator here. I work with a group right there from New American Welcome Center, and so thanks so much for that. So lastly, I would like to thank all of you, Project READ. I think some of you are here, Urbana Adult Education, New American Welcome Center, Urbana Adult Education, some of the volunteers, because I always learn from you. I always ask a lot of questions, and you give me a lot of suggestions, advices, and what to do. And therefore, I'm here right now, and I thank you. And because when I win, you guys win too. When we win, our immigrants win as well. So thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
The work that Professor Maldonado is doing and Efrain is doing, studying and teaching and having a cohort of Kahnawal interpreters is just, it's national work. It's amazing work that they're doing, and supported by all of the different immigrant justice organizations and the county, Champaign County, making that possible. They are creating a team of Kahnawal interpreters who are able to serve immigrants in this area, but then that's an incredibly valuable skill that they can take on a national level. Kahnawal is needed throughout the nation, and it's an amazing project that they're doing there. So we've had good friends and good food, and now some time for some good music. We'd like to introduce our musical performance for today.
So in 2020, one of our musicians, Burima Ouedraogo, who we know as Ibrahim, won one of our Immigrant Welcome Awards. Those of us at CU Immigration Forum, we didn't know he was a musician as well. Then in 2021, we had to pivot really quickly from an in-person program to online because the COVID numbers went up. And we asked him, because he's a videographer, if he would help us with the filming, and he did. We still didn't know he was a musician. Somehow, gradually it came to on our horizon that he is a musician, and quite a wonderful musician, and in fact, he comes from a family of musicians. So, Burima is UPTV production coordinator. He's also a filmmaker and videographer. He's from Burkina Faso, and that's in West Africa. And he is accompanied by Jason Finkelman, who's director of the Global Arts Performance Initiative at Granite Center for the Performing Arts. So please welcome them. I think you'll really enjoy their music.
This thing. Oh, feel good to be here now. Thank you so much for inviting us. And my name is Burima Ouedraogo, and I'm here with Jason Finkelman. And I don't know, Jason, you want to say anything about our collaboration in music?
Oh, well, I'm just delighted to be able to perform with Burima. Our premiere, I think, was a project for the Spurlock Museum.
Yes.
None of us knew that Burima was a musician, and he would check into a couple events and play solo, and this opportunity came up, and I'm just delighted that we've been able to develop this music over time to what you'll hear today. Thank you for having us. It's quite an honor to be here today.
Yes. Thank you. So our first song we're gonna play is an original song, and it's a kind of love song. It's called Mariam, and we have other song, but we start with this one, and we hope you will enjoy that one too. Mariamo, bati di qui sabego. Mariamo, bati di qui sabego. Mariamo, bati di qui sabela. Lola Mariamo, bati di qui sabego. Ankuru mega sugo ya etum si wedem gitara. Eyendem yendam namsutegam lola yelle. Winni garaba na lise la ziga me pinda wasana. Koma kiringa lwile, yega damela kina. Wati di kwisa bego, Mariamo. Wati di kwisa bela, lola Mariama. Wati di kwisa bego. Mariama, Bruna Daraya, Yel Balalamtada. What did you be Sunday? The Willigan Dole, Willigan Dola Mariama, no, Bruna Daraya, Yel Balalamtada. What did you be Sabego? Hey, hey. What did you be Sabego? Aha. What did you be Sabego? Thank you. So our next song we're gonna play, it's called Duncan. It's about destiny. And sometimes, you know, if you're meant to play music, you're meant to be a teacher, when the time comes, you will do it. So maybe this is my music journey, but Duncan is the kind of destiny. I'm glad to be here to play music for you guys too. Boli nyawanya teriti boli tankanye alika boli nyawanya hati boli tankanye ikake bisiyo itankale ikake artisiyo itankale akana bonyogo mamago tifoye tankale ko sika korosiye lodi ka koroloniye ne koniye demseno yembolo bilalengo Dona mami kakasila, oka ketonye. Dona mami kakasila, oka yapanema. Donkililani ye, donkililani ne baba, okera dangama. Alika boli nyawanya teriti boli tankanye ikake minisiyo itankale ikake artisiyo itankale akana bonyoga mamagoti boli tankale ko sika korosiye lodi ka korononiye nekolo yendem seno yembolo bilaleko Dona mamiga kasila oka ketonye Dona mamiga kasila oka yapanema Donkililani Donkililani ne baba okera dangmama Thank you. Thank you very much. This song now we're gonna play, it's another original song. This is the song that I was visiting back home, and something happened. You know, when you can stay long you want, but when you go back home, there are certain places when you say bring all the memories. And, you know, that's why it's always make, sweet home magic. So this thing happened, and this song I created called Chez Soi. It's like sweet home. And then Jess and I sat enjoying it. This is one of our favorite songs. So.
Yes, absolutely. The first time I heard it, I was like, the berimbau, this instrument here, fits perfectly in this song. We're going to make sure we're in tune right now.
Yeah. Rien de plus beau que chez soi. Rien de plus beau que chez soi. Rien de plus beau que chez soi. 360 heures, jusqu'une seule fois, sans ne mettre tes jours, mes jours de vacances. Quarante-huit heures me suffisent pour aller voir ma maison, où m'attendent mes parents, aussi mes amis, mes tendres souvenirs m'attendent là-bas aussi. Rien de plus beau que chez soi. Rien de plus beau que chez soi. Oui, rien de plus beau que chez soi. Oui, rien de plus beau, yes, que chez soi. Aller voir ma maison où m'attendaient mes parents, aussi mes amis, oui mes tendres souvenirs m'attendent là-bas aussi. Rien de plus beau que chez soi. Rien de plus beau que chez soi. Rien de plus beau que chez soi. Oui, rien de plus beau, yes, que chez soi. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, when Jason and I start playing music, we're gonna play another one, and I want Jason to share one instrument that became a favorite, instrument that always we play. I say, can you play that one? It's an instrument from South Africa. But before that, we're gonna play one of our tune called Liligu. And Liligu is original composition during the COVID. This inspiration came because, we had a lot of guidelines, to follow, to be safe. And, sometimes we made it. I can tell, we all back together here. But some variants coming up, we still invite people to wear masks, if you can, and keep the community safe. So, Liligu. Liligu la liligu yeah, liligu la liligu yeah. I'm la roba yo, happy liligu la liligu. Thinking my fun, happy liligu la liligu. Jeunesse agili, happy liligu la liligu. Oh, ah. la lilego, jeunesse agili, abenego, la lilego. Isami wa chengra wa biso masempele nyore. Isan chengra wa fa bi mama sempele nyore. Ewanyika nango bone bayoko. Ewanyika nango bone bayoko. Ewanyika nango bone bayoko. Oh 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 oh. All right, this is the moment. Jason.
This instrument was introduced to me by a man in South Africa named Dizu Plakes. He's an amazing bow music specialist, but he plays the umshinko, right?
Yeah.
And the umshingo is just a tube, and I was fascinated by this overtone flute. So we're gonna play a little introduction to another original of yours, right?
Yes.
We're going to go right into our last song called Saga.
Yes.
And again, thank you so much for having us here at the 10th anniversary Immigration Awards here. It's just fantastic. It's so beautiful, all the work that everybody's doing in this community. It's really an honor to be part of it.
Saga oh yeah, saga. Saga oh yeah, saga. Saga oh yeah, saga. Saga oh yeah, saga. Abatanga bossa saga. Abayada bossa saga. Akupendeli bossa saga. Saga oh waniya. Saga oh waniye. Saga oh waniya. Saga oh waniye. Saga oh waniya. Saga oh yeah saga, saga oh yeah saga, saga oh yeah saga, saga oh yeah saga. Nabatanga bossa saga, nabayada bossa saga, akupendeli bossa saga. Saga oh waniya, Saga o waniye, saga o waniya. Ni waniye, waniye. Ni waniwo waniye. Sandi kamala da mona, sandi ni wida la da me, sandi kamala da mona. Saga o waniya, saga o waniye, saga o waniya. Ni waniwo waniye, ni waniwo waniye. Sandi kamala da mona, sandi ni wida la da me, sandi kamala da mona. Saga o waniya, saga o waniye, saga o waniya, saga o waniye, saga o waniya, saga o saga, saga o saga, saga o saga, saga o saga, saga o saga waniye, saga waniya, saga o waniya, saga waniye, saga o waniya, saga waniye, saga o waniya, saga waniya. Thank you. Yes, some questions.
Bordermouth, let George over.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Before we turn the time over back to our MCs, I just had it like a Albert Camus moment. Where am I? I'm in the basement, of a little town. I call it a 2 Walmart town. In the middle of the fields in Illinois, and yet here we are in Burkina. We are in the Middle East. We're in Guatemala. And in this room, probably the experience, if you're here, it means that your experience is probably very much in touch with the world. So thank you. I feel energy when that happens, when I'm with friends. We are with friends, family, colleagues of the last years of all the awardees. I have to recognize the fact, too, that we have other people that are players in this room in the accumulated time of immigration work. And I want to mention at least a couple because Dr. Ivory Tatum, I just feel like, wow, you're here. So thank you. Thank you very much. Not, I know that you support, but this is, we're in the basement on a Saturday afternoon. So thank you very much. And Janelle represents the city. I have learned so much from her already. Janae Gomez, the city of Champaign. And I'm very, very happy that you're here too. But I have to recognize also Stephanie. Stephanie Corrales just is now you can wave, people need to know you. Because she's also new to immigration services as a director. And it's a tough job. I admire all the women that just have stepped up, filled, and I just love that. So thank you very much for, of course I missed, yes. But there are many people here that I am so pleased to see you, but there's just, it's energy that goes up. I need to recognize now, shifting back, I love mentioning all the agencies. Somebody asked this week in a very formal meeting, so why do we have so many immigrant agencies? Shouldn't we just put them all together in one pot and then fund them and do? It is one pot. There are many different ideas on how to do the work because we have people from all over the world coming in very different stages. So you choose the one you fund. Immigration Forum, Tom said it on the first meeting 10 years ago at this Welcome Awards. He says, we're not here to make you feel guilty or to ask you for money. That can happen at other times. Here we're just with you. We want to celebrate people. And because of that, the members of the forum, Lisa's upstairs. Yeah, Lisa's upstairs. Carolyn has been doing a lot of our paper, moving lines. I want to recognize you. The forum started with basically 5, 6 people, and at least a couple are here. But I want to bring one up. Jack, can you come over? Jack is also, he's a lawyer, but he's also a musician. And I don't know where his next gig is, but it's very soon. That's his briefcase. He probably has an instrument in there. But I want to give you the word because we're having a little surprise here. It's not on the program on purpose. Go ahead, Jack.
Okay. Thanks, Ricardo. Yeah, I'm Jack Wilkie. Some of you may know me. I'm an immigration attorney here locally, and I'm on the board of CU Immigration Forum and Immigrant Services for Champaign-Urbana. Been around for a while. I wanted to say a few words today about my friend Ben Miller here. A lot of you know Ben, and he's been around for a long time. I think I met Ben in the late 90s. It was at something called Padre a Padre, some program at Washington School. And I forget why we were there. But anyway, I've worked with Ben in the Latino Partnership and CU Immigration Forum, and most recently at Immigrant Services for Champaign-Urbana. And I found out we had something in common. He went to the University of Wisconsin. That's where my parents met. That's where I was born, so I don't remember you back then. But Ben always struck me as being like the Forrest Gump of immigration, because he was there when things were happening. Like, oh yeah, I lived in the Bay Area in the late 60s. Yeah, we used to go to the Grateful Dead shows all the time. So Ben could have retired after a long and successful career in agricultural extension. It's not like he hadn't done good work on behalf of vulnerable populations throughout his working years, but instead he accepted leadership first as president and then executive director of Immigrant Services of Champaign-Urbana, formerly CU Fair, from 2018 to July of this year. This was not his foray into the world of his first foray into the world of immigration. He'd served on the steering committee of the CU Immigration Forum from 2013 to July of 2023, and was co-founder of the Latino Partnership, with which he was involved in 2009 to 2011. And I do remember fondly the TVDL campaign, where we all went down to Springfield in December of 2012. It was about 20 below zero, and none of us knew what we were doing. We were like lobbying. It was just chaos in there. But we got that law passed shortly thereafter. We assisted in that, and I think. And I'm a traffic defense lawyer. I have a lot of Latino clients, and it's helped a lot of them because they were always getting bad traffic tickets for not having a license. Ben, being a Spanish speaker with interest in Latin American, afforded him opportunities both in his agricultural work and its related interests of nutrition, health, rural development, and Spanish language access to spend time in a number of Latin American countries. His early career focused on rural development before he added agriculture as a focus of interest. So both within his professional career and outside his career, in his years of volunteer work, Ben has demonstrated care and support of vulnerable populations, serving immigrants in our local community. He has received a number of awards for the work he has done. He was named Hero and Volunteer of the Year by the Immigration Project in 2019, and he was part of 2 CU International Humanitarian Awards, one as a team member in the work of CU Immigration Forum, and another with his wife for hospitality in 2010. His leadership for the last 6 years of ISCU is just the most recent of many years of service. So, see, there's a rhyme reason to this bag here. My wife calls it my man purse, but anyway. Ben Miller, in appreciation for 10 years of service with the steering committee of the Champaign-Urbana Immigration Forum, in addition to many more years of serving and advocating for immigrants. So Ben, why don't you come on up here? That's for you. Say a few words.
Hey, that wasn't necessary. Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a privilege to be a part of this community and to share so many great experiences. And I'm very, very hopeful that we will continue to make all the progress in the world here in Champaign-Urbana to truly make this an immigrant-friendly community. Thank you so much.
We took a little detour right before the music, and I got a couple of awards out of order, so that's on me, not on the organizers. Thank you to the organizers. I'd like to take one moment, though, and I want to go back to something Flor said about the stars. We've all been sitting a while, so what I'd like all of us to do is I'd like us all to reach for the stars. Let's reach for the stars. Now let's pat the person in front of you on the back. A little community, love, here we go. All right. So, we're back in touch with each other. If you were listening, I know you were, but when Ricardo was acknowledging many of the great people in the room, one of the phrases he used was women who step up. And today's Emergent Leadership Award is to a woman who steps up, Salali Stanton. Salali is one of our staff members at the New American Welcome Center, but she has a long story and one that continues today of leadership in this community. And what I mean by Salali stepping up, I'll explain a couple of things that come to mind. But first, she has told us that her own immigration story coming to the U.S. was complicated. And it was complicated, and despite having a great family and great supports, just because you have people who want you to thrive and be successful doesn't mean that the system is necessarily set up that way. I think some people would look at that and say, I'm going to fight that battle for myself and move forward. Salali said, I'm going to fight that battle for myself and my family and then for others. And she has moved into roles in this community as an educator, working with young children. She has, in our staff meetings, we often ask questions, and she will talk about her commitment to her children, to her husband, to her family. I know your mom right now is watching from Mexico. I think that's wonderful. But I want to say this about Salali because I think this is an honest thing. We will talk in staff meetings, and I think sometimes we have this false narrative that just because this work is really meaningful and important, that we can do it tirelessly. And I don't think that's actually true. And Salali, you've always been honest that there are times that you are tired, but you continue to step up and do the work. And you do that work despite everything else that you juggle. And most recently, just because she has that little bit left to give, she decided to put herself forward for the Urbana School Board, becoming the first Latina to serve on the Urbana School Board. And we all know the power and the importance of education, especially educating young women, educating people for whom English is an additional language. It is the springboard to a thriving future. You provide that to many people in this community, and for that, we are so proud to give you the Emergent Leadership Award this year.
Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. That was very kind of you. Thank you. Yes, I'm tired. I have my daughter who is over there, and my son is over there playing. But I'm really, really thankful for this award, and I'm also very honored to be right now here among all these community members, leaderships, friends and family. My family is in Mexico. Seeing me, it's a truly honor to be part of Urbana, which I really don't believe I'm here, because the first time I came, as somebody described, in the middle of corn and fields, corn and soy. I thought like, I'm coming from Morelia, where it's wonderful. We have the butterflies goes there every winter. They go over there. I come from Michoacan, which is the state of the butterflies. And when I came here, I thought, oh my gosh, it's so flat. I can see from here to Champaign. There is no way I'm going to stay here for more than 3 months. And now I'm being here for 9 years. So I have my wonderful family, my in-laws, my husband, and my kids, always supporting me. And yes, my immigration story is like everybody, other immigration stories that we have here that I heard tons during my chats with my clients. They are hard. No, it's hard. I haven't struggled as hard as they did, as Efrain shared his story. I'm being very lucky to have the support of my family-in-law and my family back in Mexico. But yes, it is a struggle to be in here, just to learn a different language, English, which I thought I will never use it back in Mexico. I never wanted to learn it, and now I'm struggling learning it and speaking it. But yeah, it is for me an honor to receive this award, not only because in my name, also for all the immigrants that are there struggling every day. And I'm really thankful for this community, because I can see people here fighting, working, and advocating for us every day. So thank you so much, everybody.
Congratulations on that award. I heard that we have some live streams going to Mexico and Guatemala. So we're going to talk, Ricardo was talking about the world coming to the basement. That's part of it. And this theme of, we all thought we'd be here for a little bit of time, and then something kind of pulls us in. I thought I'd be in Bloomington Normal and at the Immigration Project for a year or two and move on somewhere else. And then you just get pulled in to the community and the connections and the love and support. And then you look up, and you've been here for years and wonder what happened. So hopefully we'll all be here for years to come. Our last award, the Claire Zook Award, Distinguished Service Award, honors a member of our community in Bloomington and Champaign-Urbana who was active for years and years in the community here and was just such a strong presence. She volunteered at Immigration Project events. She was active in all different immigration organizations here in Champaign-Urbana. And while she had a long, distinguished record of service here, she was taken too soon. And so this award really recognizes the enduring impact of distinguished service and honors Claire. So our award recipient from the Distinguished Service Award, Claire Zook Distinguished Service Award, is Pat Nolan. So Pat, when you talk about why are there so many immigrant services organizations in Champaign-Urbana, I think Pat has volunteered at all of them. So if you want someone to tell you the differences and the nuances and how they reach similar objectives in their own style and flavor, Pat can definitely set you straight. Pat has worked with the Refugee Center and supported that loyally for years. And she was also part of Immigrant Services of Champaign-Urbana back when it was CU Fair, and the Refugee Center back when it was ESERMAC. So maybe she's been part of all of these name changes, but definitely has been a long-term supporter. She's also supports immigrant justice with a team of members at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Urbana-Champaign. And UUs, man, they just have a heart for connection and love and service and channeling. We're just blessed that they channel that into immigrant justice, and Pat has been the champion of that in the Champaign-Urbana region. And she's also been part of CU Immigration Forum. While she might not be in front of the cameras or a director in a lot of these spaces, she is the type of volunteer and supporter every single organization is hoping that is part of their team. She's boots on the ground, let's make it work, let's get it done, right? What do we need to do, and how can I be part of the physical action the verb that is welcoming, right? Let's not just talk the talk, but let's walk the walk and live a life of service. And Pat really exemplifies that. She has helped refugees sign up for benefits, identify local food banks, apply for Social Security cards, get driver's licenses and bus passes. She helps people find housing, furnish homes, fill pantries, help them move and settle in. Every practical day-to-day needs to happen to really support and holistically welcome our immigrant community. The nominator said, Pat might not often be seen leading the parade or up front receiving the accolades for her work, until now, of these organizations, but she can more than often than not be found working diligently behind the scenes to get the work done. She isn't afraid to get her hands dirty or to challenge the status quo to achieve her goals. Pat symbolizes the supportive volunteer every organization seeks to identify, develop, and celebrate. So we're very honored to give the Distinguished Service Award to Pat Nolan.
First of all, the Immigrant Awards go to the immigrants who are part of this award ceremony. Because they are the ones who have stepped up to help their fellow community members get started here. So my hat's off. I don't have it on, but my hat's off. So it's the immigrants that we celebrate here. I learned so much from Claire. I was one of her sidekicks or tag-alongs for 20 years. We met at the Unitarian Universalist Church. A group of us are here, my friends are here today from the church. I had a lifelong interest in different cultures, and Claire had the knowledge of and practical experience with those who are foreign-born, particularly her experience with the plight of Central Americans oppressed by war and injustices. I was with Claire in early discussions which led to the formation of the CU Immigration Forum and later to its branch, Allies of Faith. We work with ANAHO, furnishing apartments for new immigrants and refugees. Now we have new leadership for the Refugee Center with its recognition as an official site for resettlement under Lisa. And CU Fair with Ben Muller. Where did he go? Oh, there, okay. Ben's advocacy led to CU Public Health District and Julie Pride offering space and warehouse for 3 immigrant organizations. CU Fair is now Immigrant Services of Champaign-Urbana, offering immigrant services under the new leadership with Stephanie Corrales. The Immigration Project, now providing legal services with an office in Champaign. And Claire was part of supporting all of these efforts. On a personal note, Claire was so proud of her family and grandchildren. She always talked about them on our trips to and from meetings. Every year she went to New Mexico with her family and always brought me back sage for beloved nature rituals. I will share that with her tonight. Then there was a time Claire, Ricardo, and I took the show on the road and went to the Abraham Lincoln UU Church in Springfield and did a Sunday service with Ricardo giving his dandelion sermon. And if you haven't heard that before, I think I still have it on tape. Afterwards, Reverend Marty Wolf took us to lunch and introduced us to the Springfield famous food, the horseshoe. Claire connected people. Thank you, Claire, for your inspiration and friendship, and for the foundations you laid supporting all the organizations working in our community. Claire, this one's for you.
What a beautiful homage to Claire. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Congratulations to all the award recipients, people who have gotten the award before, people who have gotten it this year. So congratulations once again. Let's give a last round of warm applause to our award winners.